killing him.
Dave Chappelle just came through with some serious receipts. And what he's dropping about Shannon Sharpe's lawsuit is straight up jaw-dropping. So here's the rundown. Shannon got hit with a lawsuit by a woman named Gabrielle Zuniga, who's going by Jane Doe in court. She claimed he allegedly assaulted her multiple times. But now, Dave Chappelle's out here saying this whole thing might be a setup. Yup, according to Dave, Gabrielle is allegedly being backed by some real powerful folks who want to shut down Club Shay Shay for good. Now here's where it gets spicy. Most people don't realize that Shannon has been pulling skeletons out the closet on his podcast for a while now. He's exposed a bunch of high-profile names, and it sounds like the wrong people weren't feeling it. So what's the play? Allegedly, they're trying to bury his whole brand. But wait, word on the streets is Shannon himself might have been playing dirty too. Sources are claiming he's been allegedly blackmailing big names using private stuff he finds out while taping his interviews.
15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
So now it's looking like that risky game he's been playing might have finally caught up with him. And guess who's ready to break it all down? Dave freaking Chappelle. You know Dave might joke around, but when he drops info, he don't miss. Back when Club Shay Shay started buzzing, Dave already warned Shannon to tread lightly when calling out fellow celebs. Having a podcast is cool and all, but once it started feeling like a hit list on famous people, that's when things turned dangerous. Celebs don't like getting exposed, especially not by other celebs. And remember that viral interview with Cat Williams on Club Shay Shay last year. After that dropped, Dave sent out a warning to Shannon like, he eat the ninjas. He didn't say anything about these white boys. None of these white boys function like that. Cat's one of the best painters in the game, so why are you drawing ugly pictures of us? Now that's a warning shot. Hurt people, and that's what they say, right?
Thirdly, you call yourself coming at me, right? You want to be aggressive with me, right? Listen, you showed poise, respect, wherewithal, resolve, compassion, reverence for Skip Bayless. Why are you so aggressive anytime somebody black say something? The man said, put your glasses on, and you put your glasses back on. Don't play with me. Put your glasses back on, Shannon.
But Cat Williams made it real clear. I'm a hurt person who never hurt people. And he's calling out others who stay hurting folks nonstop. He even went as far as accusing some folks of trying to destroy the careers of other black comedians. Cat said, if I told my story, it would break your heart. I lost everything and never snitched on anybody. And now he want to act like he's the gatekeeper of truth? Cat was heated. He said, listen, my dude, I'm hurting, but you don't see me messing with other people's money. Since when is it part of the game to mess up another man's bag or run around spilling tea that ain't yours to spill?
I also take full responsibility for any and everything that I've done in business, good or bad. My frustration with Cat Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Cat was in that position.
You were the guy. You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You off promo shoots. You off your promo trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studio stopped.
Why was he a risk?
He chose you. Take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what, I gotta fix me. And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna stand up for comedy. So when you say...
And honestly, it's not hard to see why he felt betrayed. Celebs were getting real mad at Shannon Sharpe. It's one thing when fans make up stories, But when another celeb steps on a celeb-run podcast and starts dropping bombs, that's personal. Where's the loyalty in that? These stars thought they were safe, then boom, Shannon gives them a stage and they get dragged in front of millions. And let's not forget that wild Cat Williams interview that set 2024 on fire. That episode was a whole earthquake, shaking up the whole industry and triggering a domino effect of call-outs and confessions. That interview has over 80 million views and stands as the most watched podcast interview on the whole platform. But all that attention came with consequences. A bunch of celebs were not feeling it. That interview didn't just make waves, it made enemies. And that's when Shannon's troubles really started stacking up. To be real, Cat went hard on other celebrities, and some folks thought it was giving bitter energy. They felt like maybe his career struggles had him lashing out, throwing shots not out of truth, but out of envy. One of the first names he lit up, Cedric the Entertainer. Cat didn't hold back. He dragged Cedric and accused him straight up of stealing jokes from other comedians and claiming them as his own. Cat Williams came swinging when he called Cedric the Entertainer a full-blown fraud. He accused him of not writing his own material and depending on others, or worse, stealing jokes to build his name in comedy. That hit a nerve, no doubt. Cedric wasn't having it. He clapped back on Instagram and hit Cat with a slick response. He said, "Revisionist history. Regardless of whatever Cat's opinion is, my career can't be reduced to one joke Cat Williams claims is his." Cedric stood 10 toes down, reminding everyone he starred in over 40 movies, dropped hit specials, and helped put tons of people on, including Cat himself. "I included Cat in the hat at the Gibson Amphitheater," he said. Then he shut it down with, "All that tough talk is corny. I'm a grown man. None of this stuff gonna go like you think. I got this over here." But Cedric wasn't the only one firing back. Kevin Hart jumped into the mix too and came for Cat hard. He straight up called him a clown and said he belongs in a circus.
Hey, Kev, you didn't say nothing to Cat Williams when he did a 3-hour interview talking slow yesterday. You didn't put a shot clock on him.
Do you entertain the circus or do you watch it, Perk? Which one do you do? What do you do? You watch it. You go, man, look at that lion riding the bike. That's what you say.
And honestly, a lot of folks felt Kevin had every right to defend himself. Cat had already tossed major shade his way. Cat had accused Kevin of being a fake, saying the whole super successful image Kevin puts out is all smoke and mirrors. According to Cat, what people see from Kevin ain't the real him. It's all a carefully crafted show to fit into the industry's mold. But let's be real, Cat going at Kevin didn't come out of nowhere. These two have had tension for years. The beef goes way back. Cat's always been vocal about how he got blackballed for speaking the truth and refusing to play Hollywood's game. But Kevin wasn't buying it. He pulled up to the Breakfast Club and shut that narrative down quick. Kevin said Cat didn't get pushed out for being too real. He got blacklisted because he was wild and behind the scenes and tough to work with. So those shots Kevin took, they had history behind them. So when Cat Williams aired it all out on Club Shay Shay, a lot of folks thought it was straight up payback for the shots Kevin Hart took earlier. But Kevin wasn't about to sit quiet. He fired right back again, doubling down and calling Cat a straight up clown who belonged in a circus.
And I need to get it off my chest early.
Because that's why I'm looking at you now. Like, why are you going into that? Because I told you we could not talk till I dealt with you.
Okay,
listen, okay. So let me say this to you. The day I watched Skip Bayless lose himself with you, and that's what he did. He lost himself. And when I watched Skip Bayless say to you, "Put them goddamn glasses back on, boy." Now, I know he didn't say goddamn and boy, but that's what everybody heard. And I was waiting for you to snatch his ass across that table, baby, and give it to him. I was like, Shannon, this is the perfect time. I don't condone violence.
Right.
I don't say be violent. But that day, I was in my feelings for 2 days. Me and my grandbaby could not watch you for 2 days. And my husband had to say, Mama, let's talk about this. Look at Shannon Sharpe. He retired in 2004, but he could still get on that field and run touchdowns, tackles, everything.
After that interview, the heat came fast. Shannon and Cat were both getting dragged for weeks. People were not feeling it. Even rapper May jumped in, calling Shannon out for being anti-black. He said Shannon only seems bold when he's going at other black folks, but stays quiet as a mouse when it comes to white celebs. Cat's Wild interview already had folks giving Shannon and the podcast some serious side-eye, but things went full meltdown when Monique pulled up for her episode. Shannon was already treading thin ice, and then Monique dropped names like Tyler Perry and Oprah. That's when the internet went into full alert. It started looking like Shannon had a target list of big-name black entertainers. Just like Cat, Monique didn't come to play. She had smoke for everyone. Oprah, Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart. She called them all out, no filter. Monique explained that she got blackballed after refusing to do unpaid promo for Precious. She said she already did everything she was contractually required to do. But when she said no to extra press runs without a paycheck, things allegedly went way left. And it happened fast. Let's not sugarcoat it. Getting blackballed in Hollywood ain't just a small setback. It's a whole domino effect. Once people like Oprah and Tyler Perry pull back, the rest of the industry usually falls right in line. Monique said, after they turned their backs, it was like everybody else acted scared to even stand next to her. Nobody wanted to risk being on the wrong side of power. But according to her, Kevin Hart actually tried to show love. She said he stepped in and looked out for her when everything started crumbling. He made it seem like he was really down to support her when things got ugly. Monique really thought Kevin Hart had her back. She said he made it sound like he was her ride or die, standing with her through it all, even while she was blacklisted and getting iced out by the industry. He acted like he cared, like he really understood what she was going through. And she believed him. But after all those sweet promises, he flipped the script. Monique said Kevin ghosted her like she didn't even exist. And what cut deep? He didn't even handle it face to face. She claims he had other people cut ties for him. He couldn't even be real about it. That betrayal stung, but it gets even worse. She says she's got audio receipts, allegedly catching Kevin throwing her under the bus while kissing up to Tyler Perry to protect his own image. That's wild. So, it's no surprise Shannon's podcast has celebs feeling salty. Even D.L. Hewley stepped up and called Club Shay Shay a mess.
Well, Club Shay Shay is getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set. So Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy-ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got Captain in front of it. But apparently she goes on Club Shay Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by...
He accused Shannon of stirring up drama, letting guests run wild with false stories, and pushing narratives that paint other celebs in a bad light. But y'all, if you think that's messy, buckle up, because here's where things take a dark turn. Word is, Shannon's been allegedly blackmailing celebrities with off-the-record tea he collects during his interviews. They're saying he's been editing out the spiciest stuff and holding it behind the scenes to use later as leverage. Now, we can't say for sure how true that is, but if there's any truth to it, it would explain why some powerful folks are coming for his neck. The lawsuit, the timing is way too perfect. It dropped one day before the public announcement that Shannon was about to sign a massive deal for Club Shay Shay. We're talking over $100 million after his contract with Colin Cowherd's network, The Volume, expired. If someone wanted to kill the podcast once and for all, that timing couldn't have been better. And even Shannon's lawyer called it out. In his official statement, he pointed straight at the suspicious timing, writing that her knowledge that Mr. Shannon Sharpe's legal team came out swinging, claiming the timing of the lawsuit against him wasn't just shady, it was blackmail. According to his lawyer, the woman who filed under the name Jane Doe knew Shannon was about to secure a huge contract, and she jumped on that moment to hit him where it would hurt the most, his reputation and his bag. This is the classic definition of blackmail, his lawyer said. And with all the drama surrounding the case, things are spiraling fast. Jane Doe accused Shannon of being manipulative and controlling, alleging some serious claims that he forced himself on her in October 2024 and again in January 2025. She says he ignored her pleas to stop, and even when she screamed and fought back, he kept going. That's serious stuff. She also claimed she was only 19 years old when they first got involved, while Shannon was 54. According to her, he saw nothing wrong with that major age gap. But it doesn't stop there. She alleges that Shannon recorded their private moments, sometimes without her knowing, and said it was for personal use. But then, she claims he went and shared those videos with friends on multiple occasions. If that's true, it's beyond disrespectful. It's illegal and dangerous. But what really got people's attention? Her lawyer said Shannon tried to offer her a $10 million payout to stay quiet and walk away. And Shannon's lawyer didn't even deny it. So now the big question is, was Shannon just trying to protect his image? Or is he really hiding something major? Gabrielle Zuniga, aka Jane Doe, has some heavyweight legal backing too. Her attorney, Tony Busby, the same lawyer who's taken on some big cases, came out with receipts of his own. He said that back in early February, his office reached out to Shannon's camp about a possible sit-down. After multiple back and forths, both sides agreed to mediation. The mediation went on for over 6 weeks, with Shannon bringing in different lawyers for that process. In the end, Shannon made what Busby called an incredibly significant offer to settle the case quietly. But Jane Doe turned the money down and filed the case anyway. And now, Busby says Shannon's team is trying to act like the whole thing is meritless, while at the same time offering bags of cash to keep it quiet. The contradictions are wild. Tony Busby, the lawyer repping Jane Doe, isn't backing down. He confirmed flat out that Shannon Sharpe did offer Jane Doe $10 million in writing to keep the lawsuit out of court. Yup, that's a fact. But Jane Doe rejected the cash and decided to push forward with legal action. Now, Busby says Shannon's team is trying to flip the script, trying to discredit her and even dox her identity to the public. And apparently they're coming after Busby too. But he said loud and clear, "We're not backing down from these scare tactics." Shannon's legal team wasted no time clapping back. They went full offense by leaking private, explicit texts that Jane Doe allegedly sent to Shannon in the past. And the messages were wild. In these texts, she said stuff like, "I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it. You know you missed this, juicy. $25,000 for each cheek. Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then you can do whatever you want to me. I want to put my tongue in your a-hole and then marry you. That's my daddy. I want you to put a big black baby in me. You better crave it because you're going to be stuck with it for life." Phew, that was a lot. And people online were shocked. Whether the texts were real or not, it was clear this case was getting messier by the minute. Shannon's official statement didn't hold back either. His legal team claimed the entire lawsuit, filed by Gabriella Zuniga and spearheaded by Tony Busby, was nothing more than a money grab, an attempt to shake down Shannon for a huge payday. They said Zuniga even showed Shannon a secretly recorded video of them during an intimate moment, which she allegedly tried to use as leverage. But here's the twist. Shannon's team says the encounter was consensual, that the footage was heavily edited and completely taken out of context to make it look like something it wasn't. They're arguing that the relationship was between two consenting adults, filled with role-playing and fantasy, stuff Jane Doe allegedly requested herself. Shannon Sharpe and his legal team say they're standing 10 toes down on their side of the story. They claim that the video Jane Doe, aka Gabriella Zuniga, secretly recorded and showed to Shannon was heavily edited and totally out of context. According to them, she cut it up to make it look like the intimate encounter wasn't consensual, when it actually was. Shannon says this is nothing but a twisted blackmail attempt. In a firm statement, his legal team said Shannon completely denies all the accusations, especially the claims of coercion and SA. He says it's a gross lie, and he's not going to let himself be bullied into silence or settle just to make it go away. He's ready to take this fight to court and let the truth come out through due process. He stands firmly by the truth, the statement read, and he's looking forward to being vindicated based on facts and law. But Jane Doe's lawyer, Tony Busby, came back with heat of his own. He said those wild texts Shannon's team leaked.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna get me. Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in
This assault ever took place. Busby said, every single text released by Shannon's team is dated prior to the alleged incident. So according to him, those messages don't change anything about what came after. And he's accusing Shannon's side of trying to distract the public with old messages instead of facing what's in the lawsuit. Then Busby dropped his own receipts. New text from Jane Doe where she said, I cried when you left because I begged you to put protection on and not put it in my behind, and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. And I don't know how to process this. That's heavy. And when she texted that, Shannon's only reply was asking if he could call her later. But Busby wasn't done yet. He turned the heat up even more by leaking an audio clip where Shannon can allegedly be heard threatening to choke her. If that audio is legit, it's going to be hard to shake off the damage. In yet another leaked audio clip, things got even darker. Shannon could be heard making disturbing comments, talking about a big black man choking a small white woman. The tone? Far from playful. After that clip dropped, Jane Doe's lawyer, Tony Busby, released a statement saying the audio was disturbing, aggressive, and dangerous. He said it shows exactly how Shannon allegedly treated Jane Doe, so much so, she felt the need to flee Nevada and completely cut off all contact with him. And yeah, it's a total train wreck. When you pile that on top of Dave Chappelle's claims that Shannon's being set up by powerful people trying to take him down, things start looking real suspicious. According to Dave, this ain't just about one woman. This is about silencing a man who's been exposing the wrong secrets. Let's not forget, Shannon was on the verge of locking in a $100 million deal. That kind of money and influence? It's a threat to the very people who might want to see him disappear, especially if he's sitting on even more dirt. So now we gotta ask, was this all part of a takedown? Or is there more truth to the accusations than anyone wants to admit? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I need to know what y'all think about Dave's bombshells and all this chaos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to keep the convo going, and I'll catch you on the next one.